think we've got everybody in and connected. So greetings, everyone. I'm Ken Phelps with the Daytona Regional Chamber of Commerce, and we welcome you to Zoom into Eggs and Issues, Developing Beach Street. We've got a great topic for you this morning and a tremendous amount of information for you. A couple of housekeeping items before we get our program started this morning. Excuse me. Please double check that your cameras and microphones are off and muted. We want to make sure that everybody can see the presentation and the speakers in as large a picture as possible. If you have a question or comment at any point during the meeting or the presentation, please submit it using the chat function on Zoom. And we're going to walk through a couple of slides here just to make sure everybody knows where those are. So if you mouse over your screen, the control panel will pop up. I want you to click on the More button with the ellipsis right above it. When you do that, it will bring a drop-down menu, and that first option should be chat. And if you click that, that will open the chat box, and then we'll be monitoring that for questions, and we will get to as many questions as we can throughout the presentation. I think there's going to be a lot of information that will spark a lot of comments and questions, so we hope you'll engage with us in that. With that, it's my pleasure now to introduce and welcome our Master of Ceremonies for today's program. He's the Chair-elect of the Daytona Regional Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors from Bomar Construction, Len Marinaccio. Len, the floor is yours.
Awesome. Thanks, Ken. And thanks, everyone, for joining us today on our virtual version of Eggs and Issues. As Ken mentioned, today's topic is Developing Beach Street. And downtown Daytona Beach has undergone some exquisite changes in the last couple of years. Looks like there's more to come. Began with the announcement of the new Brown & Brown headquarters on North Beach Street and the new Esplanade Riverfront Park, along with the new Beach Street design, which allows for more parking, which is something that's much needed in the downtown area. Steve Farmer, the Executive Vice President at Brown & Brown Inc., will explain the features of the new headquarters building. Jeremy Marquis of Marquis, Latimer, and Halback Inc. will provide an update on the Daytona Beach Riverfront Esplanade Park. And Daytona Beach City Manager Jen Chisholm will discuss the overall vision for the new Beach Street streetscape project. At this time, I'd like to recognize our special guests that are with us this morning. We've got Stephanie Benedict, Legislative Assistant to Representative Tom Leake. And we've got Daytona Beach City Commissioner Juanita May. Ordinarily, we'd have a round of applause and recognition for these folks, but can't do that virtually. So welcome and thank you. Did I miss any other elected officials or staff representatives here that we'd like to recognize? Okay. Also, we've got many generous members who go above and beyond to help us bring relevant and meaningful programs to our members and to the community. Our presenting sponsor today, Halifax Health, and we welcome John Guthrie to have a few comments if he's here. Do we know if John's here?
I do not see him in yet.
Okay, well, if John makes it on, we'll follow up with him later. But our next sponsor helping to make this possible, the Daytona Beach News Journal. Please welcome Jamie Brown.
Good morning, everybody. So good to be here with you this morning. Just on behalf of the Daytona Beach News Journal, thank you guys for supporting us for so many years, reading us either digitally or in print. I am the Regional Marketing Events and Promotions Director, and I just want to wish everybody a happy and safe Thanksgiving holiday season. And without further ado, super excited to see everything that we have on the agenda today for Developing Beach Street. Very exciting things coming to our community. So thank you, and I will turn it back over to you, Len.
Thanks, Jamie, and of course, thanks to the News Journal and to Halifax Health for helping to make this possible today. As Ken mentioned, throughout our guest presentations, we'll ask those of you online to type your questions into the chat room, and then we'll try to get them answered in the order that they're received. I'm going to introduce all of our speakers and give some backgrounds on them, and then we'll just kind of jump into the program. The first one we're going to hear from is Steve Farmer. Steve's the Executive Vice President of Brown & Brown Insurance, the nation's 6th largest insurance brokerage. He has more than 24 years experience in the insurance industry and currently leads Brown & Brown's largest retail branch headquarters here in Daytona Beach. He previously was Senior Vice President Sales Leader for their Daytona retail operation. He also serves on the boards for Volusia Flagler YMCA, the Daytona Regional Chamber, and the Futures Foundation. a Florida State University graduate with a BA in economics. He's married to Carol Murphy Farmer, and they live in Ormond Beach with their 3 sons. After Steve, we'll hear from Jeremy Marquis. Jeremy heads up a team of award-winning landscape architects. This group is leading the design team in the development of downtown's new Riverfront walkway, which will provide a destination for families. Partnering with Marquis, Latimer, Halback are RS&H, Zev Cohen, Bomar Construction, and numerous other engineers, architects, and contractors. Jeremy received a bachelor's degree in landscape architecture from the University of Florida and began with Marquis, Latimer, and Halback in 2006 as an associate, went on to become a principal in 2009. He lives in St. Augustine. Jim Chisholm began his management career in 1974 as Assistant County Administrator of Leon County. From 1982 to 2004, he was County Administrator for St. Lucie and DeSoto counties and was City Manager in South Padre Island, Texas, and Isla Mirada Village of Islands, Florida. He began working as Daytona Beach City Manager in 2007, where he's currently working with a $273 million city budget. Jim always works to find solutions for numerous issues. For instance, regarding homelessness, he oversaw plans regarding the First Step Shelter. He's also advised the commission on hiring the attorney that drafted the panhandling ordinance and has addressed various infrastructure projects that has expanded the city's economic development opportunities. More so, he goes above and beyond. Jim has announced that he'll be retiring as city manager in March of next year. And with those introductions, thank you to the 3 of you for agreeing to give us this overview today. We'll go ahead and jump right in and let Steve tell us about the Brown & Brown headquarters. Steve.
Well, thank you, Len, and good morning, everyone. We really appreciate this opportunity to update everybody on the new Brown & Brown Beach Street campus. You know, as I was coming over the bridge this morning, it's such an impressive building, and it's hard to believe it's been 3.5 years since we announced the building of the building, and it's pretty incredible for me to think about what it means to our company. It got very real for us yesterday when the moving boxes showed up here at 220. We realized that we have a lot of work to do to get ready to move by the end of the year. But I thought what I'd do this morning is a few things. I'm going to walk you through the building specifications. I'm going to talk about who's going to be in the building, kind of give you a feel for what's on the inside, because I know for the last 2 years as I've been driving over the bridge, I've wanted to know what's going on in there, and I've had a glimpse, and it's really cool. And we're also going to show you a video and kind of give you a feel from the air and around the building what it looks like up there. So Ken, if you wouldn't mind putting the first slide up. So let's talk about the general specifications of the building. First of all, it's a 15-acre site, which it's huge. When you get over there now with it all clear with the parking lots in and the building on it, you realize how very big the site is. And Brown & Brown has also been able to acquire some property around the site that's allowed us to enlarge the parking lots and get some more space over there. It's 11 floors, approximately 225,000 square feet. At full capacity, the building's going to hold 900 teammates. On our first day over there, we're going to be about 500 teammates in there. And to put that in perspective, when I started with the company in 1996, we had about just shy of 100 teammates here in Daytona Beach. When we announced the building in 2016 or 2017, we had about 320 teammates. So as you can see, we've already increased the footprint of the Brown & Brown teammates here in the Daytona Beach area as we move in on our first day in January. There's 825 parking spots over there, including charging stations for those with electric cars. If you've come to the 220 building here, we've always had parking issues, especially as we've grown and as we hold events here and everything else. I've told the team that they better get to the building early because it is a very large parking lot, and those that get in late are definitely going to get their steps in getting to the front door of the building. So integrated state-of-the-art technology, and I would tell you that to me, you know, I'm an insurance salesperson. To me, that means a great internet connection, and I think that what we've learned in our remote work environment here during the pandemic is that there's nothing more important than a good internet connection. But really what it's enabled us to do is put state-of-the-art technology infrastructure in, and it will allow us to do a lot of things. We will have full video technology over at the building, the ability to communicate very well, not only with our teammates, but with our customers. We'll have a state-of-the-art communication system in the new building. We have gone to a complete laptop platform for our teammates, which will allow them to really enjoy the building, be very mobile, not be tied to an office or a cubicle, and be able to move about the building and collaborate with one another, and also have the ability to meet customers down in the outdoor areas and the sanctuary down on the first floor. It will give us the ability at the end of the day to just communicate better with our customers and with our teammates. You're starting to see a lot of new trees go in over at the site. There's going to be 145 new trees planted on the site. The entire building is designed to be environmentally friendly, not only in the outdoor areas, but things such as we've moved to a paperless platform. We have a complete recycling program that we're going to be instilling over at the new building. In addition to that, we've gone to state-of-the-art, energy-efficient LED lighting throughout the building. So a lot of things that will make this very environmentally friendly. And we're very thankful to the city and the county who saw the value in really improving the infrastructure at the new building. That not only benefits Brown & Brown and in our headquarters, but it will also benefit the Beach Street community and the surrounding communities around us. So next slide, Ken. So who's going to be in the building? And I think this is important to understand, because this isn't a situation where we're simply moving the people here at 220 South Ridgewood over to the new building. There are a number of organizations that are coming together under the roof over there at the new headquarters. Brown & Brown Insurance, you see as the top, that is our corporate team, legal, team resources, marketing, all of our corporate teammates. Brown & Brown Daytona Beach is the retail operation, which I run, and that's about 200 teammates here. Again, when I started in '96, that retail operation had about 75 teammates. So we've grown considerably in the time that I've been here. In addition to that, Brown & Brown Absence Solutions Group, that is a group that we're moving down from Boston, and they are already here. We have people stashed all over town in lease space, but that we will be coming together over at the new building. McDuff Underwriters is a wholesale operation that we have here locally. They have been housed over on Clyde Morris Boulevard for a number of years, and they will be moving into the new building as well. And then lastly, PRIA, which is our public risk insurance advisors. PRIA is our arm that basically places property and casualty and benefits insurance for public entities, cities, counties, school boards, water districts, etc. I think it's important also to know that the 220 building that I'm sitting in right now, we will continue with the 220 building. As we move out, it's going to be completely remodeled, and another operation that we're moving down from Detroit is going to take up residence here at 220. So we will continue our presence here on Ridgewood Avenue. So what will be inside? Well, the first thing you notice when you go inside is the view. And we talk about the views of the Halifax River and the ocean, and it really is incredible from the vantage point of the 10th floor, which is where our office is, but all of the floors, to see Daytona Beach from that level. I think even just as impressive is the view to the west. And when you see the Speedway from up on the top floors of our building, Halifax Hospital, and I have been very impressed with the view of the St. Paul's Church, which I got a unique view. I've driven by that every day for a number of years, but it really looks beautiful from up top up there. The lobby is going to give us a unique opportunity to really showcase the history of Brown & Brown. And those of you that have lived in the community for a long time know we started as a very small insurance agency in 1939 right here in Daytona Beach on Ridgewood Avenue. And we have grown into quite a large operation. And there's a lot of history that goes along with that. There's going to be a lot of video walls. There's going to be a Hall of Fame. You're going to be able to really understand the history of Brown & Brown. And I'm told, and I haven't seen this yet, there's actually going to be an active video wall where you're going to be able to choose a year, and Hyatt is going to come on and talk to you about what was going on in Brown & Brown in that year. So we're very, very excited to see that. There's 30 plus meeting rooms over at the new building. And really what that means is a couple things. Number one, Brown & Brown University is our training arm that currently is in South Carolina and Orlando. That will come together in Daytona Beach, and we will be able to do a lot of training in the various rooms that we have over there. They're all state of the art. They all have technology, and not just for the retail operation, but for all of our operations. We'll be able to have events for the community as people come and go from the building. We've got plenty of space to do those type of things. We also have a large multi-purpose room over at the new building that will hold 400 people. So you can imagine the large events that we do as a company, as well as community events, we'll be able to do that, and that'll be located on the first floor. We talked about the technology abilities that we'll have over there. We'll have interactive conferencing technology and Wi-Fi throughout. That sounds simple, but if you come to 220 and you've ever tried to use our Wi-Fi, it can be challenging at times. So we're very excited about that. We are going to have what we call the sanctuary on the first floor, which will include a cafe, a coffee bar, and collaborative workspace. Again, what I talked about earlier, our teammates and our customers are going to be able to collaborate in this beautiful area where you'll be able to get a soup or sandwich, where you're able to get a cup of coffee. Nothing too fancy. We don't want to take away from our teammates actually moving out into the Beach Street area and patroning our restaurant folks downtown. And we've actually done some surveys and have determined that on any given day, at least a third of our workforce will be moving about Beach Street. And I think when you hear about the park across the street and our ability to get out and walk, it's really going to be a good thing for downtown. A lot of courtyards, a lot of outdoor space, and outside decks. The views from the decks are just incredible, and it really, my discussing it doesn't do it justice. And obviously within the building, we're going to be doing a lot of branding and artwork inspired by our local Daytona Beach culture. If you know Hyatt and Cece, you know how in love with Florida artwork they are. If you've been to the museum, you've seen some of that. We're going to be able to really showcase Daytona Beach landmarks and culture in our new building. So next slide. So what's the timeline? As I mentioned earlier, we broke ground in October of 2018. In July of 2019, you actually started to see a building come out of the ground over there, which was very exciting. We expect to be completed of the exterior. The exterior was completed in February of 2020, and then we expect the building and interior complete in December 2020. Right now, the plan is for our team to begin moving in early January. And initially, in early January, we will be moving over the leadership team and a few teammates. We are still in a remote work environment here at Brown & Brown. So we envision kind of a slow move in over a period of a couple months of our teams into the new building, and we will do that when it is safe to do so. So Ken, next slide. And I think that's our video. So I'm going to quiet down and let you watch the video. As you can see, it's quite impressive from the sky, and we're very, very excited to move over there. I would close with a few points. First and foremost, what this new building represents to us is much more than a building. It is a true world headquarters for Brown & Brown. And again, to kind of give you some perspective, when I started with the company in 1996, we were about $183 million in revenue. We had just gone public in 1993. And we had about 2,000 teammates around the country. When you think about where we are as a company today, we have $2.5 billion of revenue today, and our goal is to get to $4 billion very quickly. We have 11,000 teammates around the country. And what this headquarters does is it allows us to bring our organizations together under one roof and begin to run our company from our true headquarters here in Daytona Beach. In addition to that, we talked about the ability to train and bring new people to Daytona. But to me, what it does is it allows us to bring our best and brightest back to our area. This building is going to be an incredible recruiting tool for all of our organizations. And I know that when I graduated from college, I didn't think I would ever have the ability to come back to the community that I grew up in, the community that I love, and actually find a job that would be a career for me. And I was lucky enough to catch on with Brown & Brown. And we have the ability to bring the best and the brightest here to Daytona Beach and keep the best and the brightest. And I can tell you that one of my favorite things here at Brown & Brown is when we have the opportunity to hire the sons and daughters of people that I grew up with as they graduate from the University of Florida and Florida State University and other universities here locally. It really is cool to know that they're going to be working with us and raising a family. And it's not just about Brown & Brown. There are a number of organizations in our community that are doing the same thing. And that really is very exciting for us here at Brown & Brown. This building also will give us the opportunity to be a partner to downtown Daytona Beach. And as I said earlier, this isn't about us just moving this group of people over to a new facility. We are bringing a number of people to the town, to the city. Those people are going to shop in our stores, eat in our restaurants, buy homes in our area. And our ability to hold large events for our company and bring people in from other organizations within Brown & Brown around the country, same thing. We're going to keep that airport very busy over there. We're going to bring a lot of people to our building, and they're going to be staying in our hotels and eating in our restaurants. And it just gives us a real ability to partner with our downtown merchants, with other businesses here in town, and make our community a better place to live. And as somebody that has lived here for most of his life, who grew up here, went to grade school and high school here, it really warms my heart to know that that the company that I work for is going to be here for a very long time. So thank you again, Ken, for the opportunity to talk about the building, and obviously I'll be here to answer any questions later on.
Great, thanks, Steve. I mean, it's what an exciting time for Brown & Brown and for all your teammates and for our community. The investment that Brown & Brown is making in Daytona Beach and the commitment, to be here, to have the headquarters here. It's so important for the community. So thank you to Brown & Brown, obviously, and thanks for your presentation this morning. Next up, to give us an update on the Daytona Beach Riverfront Esplanade, we have Jeremy Marquis from Marquis, Latimer, and Halback. Jeremy.
Great, thank you, and thank you for letting me join you all today. And by the way, Ken, maybe every 15 to 20 seconds, feel free just to advance the slides as we go through this. That'll keep us all on pace. Len said that I had about 60 to 75 minutes for the presentation, so settle in, grab your cup of coffee. I'm kidding. I wanted to really just present both the vision and our progress with the Riverfront Esplanade, but also talk about the park being a method for economic redevelopment. So again, my name is Jeremy Marquis. I'm thrilled to be the design lead on this great project. I'm the principal and CEO of Marquis, Latimer, and Halback. We're based out of St. Augustine. We do work all across the state and really the Southeast. We are a two-time Gator 100 recipient for any Gators in the crowd, as the 100 fastest growing Gator owned firms in the country. So that's enough about me. Let's get into to the vision of this park. And this really goes back, as Hyatt Brown likes to remind us, of what Daytona was when he was a boy. And it really is about the gardens and the vibrancy of Beach Street. And so these are some of the photographs and postcards that we had. A lot of fun just going back through, and the whole point of this esplanade, of this park space, is to create a very vital, engaging place for people to meet, for all these different users and activities to come together. This is very much supposed to be a family-oriented space. It's very much supposed to express the story and the community of Daytona Beach. And so this has everything from botanical gardens to splash pad to a really cool dune overlook that's out on the point. There's just a lot of wonderful opportunities for the community to come together. And so as you'll see on this next slide, we really have 3 different zones. And so moving from north to south, you'll see what we call the community gathering zone. This is the area immediately across from the project that Steve was just talking about, the new Brown & Brown headquarters. And this has a lovely arcing lawn with huge, I mean huge oak trees, 30-foot canopy from day one that we're bringing in to create just this lovely event space that looks out onto Manatee Island. You can also see how we moved Josie Rogers' house to the north. Then as we go into the central area, or what we call our arrival or gateway zone, we're really kind of building off the existing jewel that's in this space, being the News Journal building. We also are coming in and really expanding the fountains on either side of the Veterans Monument. And you can see this dune overlook that I was referencing. I even have some photos of what that's starting to shape up as. And then finally on the south end is our family and garden zone. And this has both botanical gardens as well as some really cool water features, including a splash pad for the kids. So in the next few slides, what we're going to do is I want to talk to you about the fact that this is more than just a great park, and it will be a great park, but it really is the expression of philanthropy and joy from Hyde and C.C. Brown, but really the entirety of the Brown Riverfront Esplanade Foundation. We looked at a number of other parks around the country, whether that's Millennium Park in Chicago or Governor's Island up in New York and some others. And really this idea of parks being a way to both bring people together, but also to create economic development. And so there were a few case studies that we really honed in on here in the state of Florida. The first is Cascades Park. This opened up in Tallahassee back in March of 2014 at a cost of $31 million. Took 11 years to build. And already it has spurred a $158 million investment for this new mixed use project that's immediately beside, but they're showing that there's about $353 million of economic impact that this park, this $31 million park, is creating. If you can go to the next slide, you'll see that this is another park that we looked at down in Tampa. This has created a new number of residential units, specifically about 775 within a quarter mile of this space. So the idea of that you can use the park to really build community, that it's a way for Daytona in this case to be more of that live, work, play community, all within a really vibrant downtown core. And then finally, Lake Eola. This is one that Fred Halback of Marquis, Latimer and Halback designed. And this was really fun because it just celebrated essentially 30 years of its renovation. And so we were able to get some really exciting economic data as to what this mile-long lakefront park had created in terms of economic impact, and realizing that we're dealing with about a mile of riverfront in Daytona. So if you think about this mile, give or take, and this $18 million that was invested by the city of Orlando, if you just look at the 2 blocks around Lake Eola, that the property values, you have $825 million worth of property right in that immediate proximity around the lake. And so that includes 1,600 units of condos, 167 units of hotel, over 1,800 apartments, and 413,000 square feet of office and retail. So a real mixture of both places to work and places to live, all with this wonderful place to play as the anchor. And we foresee that the Esplanade is very much going to be like that. So if I can take you through, and this is some more the vision or the views, I should say, of Lake Eola. But now I'd like to take you into a little bit more detail again on the Riverfront Esplanade. So where we're at today is we had worked with the commission, had an approved master plan that we were thrilled that the city commission approved for us to move forward with. And there's just so many people to thank that have been involved between the foundation, the city commission, the design team, BOMAR. And so we're really just excited to help lead all of that. But let me walk you through the specific pieces. So I'm showing you the construction plans, just a little bit of color. So again, we're starting on the north end. There's going to be a dog park for all of us who enjoy our four-legged friends. We relocated with the city's strong assistance, the Josie Rogers House. So they worked with us to move that, and now we're composing the park around it. Where the entrance to Manatee Island is, there's a new restroom facility that's actually taking some architectural cues from the Crest building. Again, just ways to bring in the architecture and the story of Daytona Beach into the space. You're going to have this wonderful, resilient running track that's going to be going all the way from the north end to the south end, something that Hyatt in particular really was keen to include. As you get onto the other side of the event space, it can be used for movies and art in the park and music in the park. We have both swings for adults as well as kids. And then what I'm super excited about, Bethune Plaza. This is right on axis with Mary McLeod Bethune Boulevard. And this is actually where Bob Lloyd and a number of others have been working to actually get a statue of Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune, which will be the centerpiece of this really important space, where it's also going to honor other legacy members of the Daytona community. We do have a ranger station that will be the place for the staffing of the park, and that's the other great piece that the foundation has thought about, is not only the initial investment, but setting this up for the long term, having rangers that are going to be walking through, making sure that it is a clean and safe place for families to gather. We even have an Osprey Tower in this piece. And then as we go on to the backside of the News Journal Center, it really gets even more exciting. But let me show you some pictures from our drone as to where we're at. So you can see the dog park underway with the event lawn. You can already start to see that big arc that it will be taking. There's the Crest building inspired restroom facility that also serves as a pretty neat gateway over to Manatee Island. And then on the following slide, you'll see the backside of the News Journal Center. And this Halifax River overlook, I can't wait for all of you to be able to go out there and to enjoy the space. First of all, the view from the News Journal Center, we were very mindful of. It really frames the view of the river beautifully. But then on the far end where the old bridge used to come down, we've repurposed this as just a wonderful river overlook. And so what it essentially does is it has an ADA accessible spiraling walkway that gets you up about 10 feet above where you used to stand. So instead of being 5 feet above elevation, you're going to be 15 feet above sea level. And so you get just this wonderful north-south view, getting to look back at Manatee Island, Beach Street, and the rest of downtown. And so in the next few pictures, what I've done is I've actually shown you both on the drone view what that starts to frame up as, and you can see it's flanked with Bethune Plaza and Fountain Plaza, as we're calling, which is really just taking the Veterans Monument and really plussing it up with some neat color change fountains on both sides. But then a little bit more detail, we get down into what the rendering started to look like, and you can see how it rises up about 10 feet. And then most exciting is the next image where Len and his crew has been out there sculpting the earth. And we have these great coquina boulders. So it feels very Florida, very Daytona. And so this is just one of those moments that I knew was going to be special and when we were designing it, but now that you can even today start to experience, and the next slide, you'll actually see most of our board standing out there. So you can see David Lodds, Hyatt Brown, Randy Howard, Emery Counts, Cece Brown, and Kelly White. It's a neat space. And then for Steve, we even have the Brown & Brown headquarters there in the background. So the next portion of the park is where the gardens happen. We have 4 different gardens. We have a dune or hammock garden, and then we transition into a really fun splash pad. This is being designed by the best water feature designers out of Orlando. They do work all across the country, really the world, for the Olympics, for a variety of cruise companies. Really, they are the go-to highest caliber water feature designers. And for all of you who know Hyatt well, he wanted to make sure we had the best. And so that will actually have a palm garden that works around it. And then we have a riparian or a river garden. And then finally, a rose garden at the far end, which will have lots of beautiful flowering plants, as well as even a small little wedding trellis in that space. And Brownie the dog is still going to be in the park. His gravestone will be where the gravestone has always been. And we're actually even taking the sculpture and creating a nice little plaza around it. So Brownie will still be known and loved in this space, which I'm glad to report. And there's a few additional renderings that show what this elevated botanical garden with a small little river running through the next section. And the idea of lifting the garden is also, this helps to think about resiliency. The fact that when you have tropical systems coming through, like today, and you have high tides and you have surge and things of that nature, we were very mindful of creating a park that will roll with the natural environment. So that was a very important piece to the entire foundation. And then finally, for our project schedule, we started this construction back in April of this year. We will be done with everything north of ISB right around March. And then we are projecting by the end of 2021 that the entirety of this beautiful esplanade will be open. And again, just my thanks to Len and his crew and Hyatt, CC, the entire board. I believe a few of them might even be joining us here today. And if you would like a copy of this presentation or would just like some more information, please feel free to reach out to me. And again, just thanks for the opportunity.
Thanks, Jeremy. What a fantastic design that you and your team put together for this park. Thanks. It's hard to describe it in a way to give people the picture of what this is actually going to be. For any of you that are driving around in that area, though, over at the Brown & Brown headquarters building, they just planted, I think, 5 of these large oak trees that are the same things that are going to be in the park. But in the park, Jeremy, I don't remember. Do you remember the exact count?
183. Not that it took us an entire day of picking these out, and they're beautiful. I mean, these are all signature trees, but 183 of them. How cool is that?
It's unbelievable. So for those of you, if you're driving around over there, if you look on the corner of Beach Street and Mary McLeod Bethune, Brown & Brown just planted 5 of them. There's going to be over 180 of those size trees in that area in the park. It's overwhelming. It's almost unimaginable how awesome that's going to look once we finally get it finished. So very exciting, Jeremy. Thanks so much for being with us today. Next up, we've got our city manager, Jim Chisholm, to tell us about the Beach Street streetscape. Jim.
Good morning. I tell you, it's really exciting times for Beach Street and really the city of Daytona Beach. And what great partners we've got. We've heard from the Hyatt and CC with their park improvement project, which is going to be complemented by not only their building but the stuff that the city is putting in Beach Street. That's about $4 million worth of street improvements that will complement the theme of a walkable downtown in an area where it's a family-oriented opportunity for those who can see the vision and make the investment. And we are fortunate we do have some partners that are coming along those lines. But with the downtown improvement that the city's proposed, the $4 million is going to reshape the road to make it a visually pleasing site to be, and also slow the traffic down as it comes through the city, the downtown area, and encourage the public to walk and visit the stores as well as the park. The park is going to be just a great attraction for the downtown area. We added parking in the downtown area, was something that's always been somewhat of a need that need to be filled, but we have a lot of alternatives that we're going to suggest in addition to that. But there's I think 43 parking spaces we're putting in right now. The events, you know, the COVID pandemic has really put a kind of a crimp on a lot of events activity, but we do still have the marketplace that is taking place downtown. We moved it from City Island to Magnolia, and it's really kind of a quaint place to go and shop and just enjoy the beauty of the downtown area with all the things that we're investing in today. We were planning, some parades and stuff for the Christmas season, but I think we're going to have to forego those this year because of social distancing and trying to keep everybody safe. And we're very mindful of that. With that, there's a number of projects that we're involved in that would complement the investments the city's made. Project Delta is one that we're working on right now. If we can solve all the issues with that project, it'll be about a $10 million investment from the developer to build a parking structure, which will again add parking for the downtown area. It should provide 300 rooms in the apartment complex. And then there's a lot of amenities that are planned with it. There'll be shopping, retail shopping in the first floor, as well as in the expanded area of that block in the downtown area on Palmetto. They plan to have a grocery store as well as a number of other venues that will be up and open to the public. And certainly with the new residents coming into the city and working at Brown & Brown, this is going to be a really popular location to enjoy those amenities as well as the apartments. Moving forward, we've got the Veterans Bridge is just open, and that's probably another signature piece for the downtown area. At night, it lights up and shines, and really is a great investment that's going to not only visually improve the city, but also help us with traffic in the downtown area. We are fortunate, as mentioned by Brown & Brown, that we made investments in utilities, and those investments are going to accrue to not only Brown & Brown, but all the downtown area with the future projects that are on the books. Burgoyne Properties has done pretty extensive planning for new facilities in the downtown area, and we're hopeful they will start now to move forward and make the changes that they are proposing. It would include a hotel as well as a number of convention spaces and public spaces that would complement what is included currently in the investments of the city in Brown & Brown. Let's see. We have a couple projects. One I cannot disclose the name of, but it's an interesting group that's they're investing in Orlando. They're also interested in downtown, and if I get to a point where we have some success, we'll certainly make that available to everybody. But it's real exciting. They just announced in Orlando a site that they're putting together out of Lake Nona. The county is still planning on relocating and consolidating some of the county facilities, and we'll be working with them to achieve their goals as well as ours. I think that kind of gives you a wrap up of what the city sees right now. But as you know, and I know, it takes planning for these things to occur. And we're fortunate that we had a riverfront plan that was developed probably 10 years ago, and a lot of the elements that were suggested in that plan are now going to be available to the public through the improvements Brown & Brown is making, the city of Daytona Beach is making, and others that are investing in the downtown area. Hope that gives you a somewhat of a vision of where we're at and what's what's coming ahead. There are some exciting opportunities still available in the downtown area. I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
Thanks a lot, Jim. And thanks to the city of Daytona Beach for the investment in downtown. And I think everybody who's seen those plans come to life with the new streetscape, it's night and day difference. And a beautiful job done there by P&S Paving on that work. It really is bringing that area to life. And once we have this pandemic behind us, I think we're going to see that everybody's predictions were right, that it's going to be a vibrant gathering place for the community. So, and thanks for the update. Again, any of you out there, if you have questions, please get them to us on the chat feature. And we're going to start now with a few of the ones that we have in there already. The first one for Steve Farmer: will your new event facility be open to booking community events? Jamie would love to schedule some of the News Journal events in the facility in 2021.
Well, certainly, and I'm happy to answer that question for Jamie and for everybody else as well. And I think we're getting a lot of questions regarding that. I mean, the first question I always get is, when will the rooftop be open and can we host an event on the rooftop? Because everybody sees that. We are not going to lease the rooftop out to private parties. However, we will have the ability to do events with local partners in conjunction with Brown & Brown up there. I don't want to speak out of turn on the meeting room down on the first floor. I believe that the meeting room I discussed earlier that holds 400 is going to be available for community events. As you know, Len, we've hired a property manager for the building, and he is building out a team. So more to come on that. But again, we expect to be able to use the building with our community partners and do have local events there. So I hope that answers Jamie's question.
Thanks, Steve. Next one was for Jeremy. Will private events be allowed in any areas of the new Riverside Park footprint?
So the park is actually going to have a park manager. That's a good question. And the idea is to schedule events and activities throughout the park, but part of why there's going to be park managers to help control that in terms of the scheduling, et cetera. So I think that the short answer is yes. The longer answer is that we're putting in all that infrastructure now.
Great. And then a couple of questions on Manatee Island. Jeremy, what's the plan for Manatee Island? Is it being changed in any way? And will the dog park be removed?
No changes, including to the dog park right now. That's a phase 2 piece. Phase 1 is a mile-long, really long park, so we're focused in on that. So no plans have been made or approved by the city or anyone else for Manatee Island at this point. And the dog park that we have within the new piece, it gives flexibility to look at that, but we see it as a complementary dog park, so that you don't necessarily have to go over to Manatee Island.
Thanks, Jeremy. The next one, I think from Suzanne, I think looks like more of a comment than a question, but I'll go ahead and read it. The veterans and some of the old timers are still interested in honoring the women who served in World War II in the area of the old rec center as a history lesson for generations to come. Maybe some meeting space, restaurant space with music and entertainment from the different eras. I don't know, Jeremy, is that something that had been talked about at all, or?
In terms of adding more to the Veterans Monument, not at this point. It's really, we're trying to take the existing Veterans Monument, just give it a better kind of garden setting, but not really touching the monument itself. So good question.
Thanks. And then one here for Jim. Any update on the progress for the Veterans Memorial Park near the new bridge?
No, I don't know the status of it. That's pretty much a county project, and I haven't had the pleasure of getting a report from the county on it at this point.
Okay. I actually had one for you, Jim. Any news on the streetscape north of Bay? Is that something that's on the drawing board right now, or?
Yeah, we're we're getting ready to go out and probably hire a consultant to do the design. That's our next step.
Okay, great. Did we have any other questions? Here's one just popped up. Is there a plan to integrate the farmers market into the park? I don't know if that would be for Jeremy or for Jim.
As far as I'm concerned, I think the whole intent of the the event activity would be probably stay on Magnolia Avenue at this point, unless something happens later. But the whole idea is to get people to come to the market and use the businesses downtown if they have a need to, and it's to encourage everybody to kind of get engaged in not only the beauty of the downtown, but also the businesses too.
Thanks, Jim. And I guess if there's no other questions, I guess thank you to Steve and to Jeremy and to Jim for taking the time today to give us this information and these reports. Thanks again to our sponsors for allowing this to happen, and for everyone who came online this morning for joining us. And with that, I'll throw it back to Nancy to close out this morning.
Yeah, thank you, Len. What a great program this morning. We have access to a lot of this information. We're involved in a lot of these discussions, but to see it presented today for the community and the people on the call, I think was incredible. If anybody can't get excited about this, then I'm not sure what we can do in this city to engage that. So congratulations to everybody involved. Jim Chisholm, just a quick congratulations to you on your retirement. I hope this isn't the last time we'll see you, but if it is in a formal program way, I, on behalf of the Chamber, our Board of Directors and the members, want to thank you. You've always been very accessible to us, and we've had a lot of conversations about a lot of the issues in the community, and appreciate as the lead business organization being at the table on those conversations that are very important for our community. So thank you for that. We do have some events coming up at the end of the year that I'll just quickly go over. And I do want to tell you, though, that as Jim Chisholm referred to, we've been very thoughtful about how we do our events moving forward in the light of the pandemic. And we have made decisions to do a lot of virtual activities through the end of the year out of respect for this. So any of our events that typically would draw over 50 people are now going to be in a virtual platform. At least through the end of this year, but that doesn't mean the events aren't going to be great. And first and foremost, I want to make sure to invite you to the annual awards celebration on Tuesday, November 17th. If you haven't signed up for that, I hope you will. It's really going to be our opportunity to do a celebration of the community, and we're calling it a rally for resilience. We've got great videos that we've gone throughout this community, photos from businesses that are succeeding, that have made changes, that are adapting. We're going to share all of that with you. Our chairman of the board, Bob Lloyd, will be doing his kind of state of the chamber address and providing some inspirational remarks. And we'll end it with a very motivational speech by Frank Stewart, who is a Zig Ziglar certified speaker. So our intent of that program is to thank you as businesses for being resilient, to kind of give you a pep rally and say, it's going to be okay. We're going to get through this and we're going to be successful, and allow us to help celebrate all of you. Our calendar is online. You can just go click directly to register for that. We'll also have a program on December 3rd that will feature kind of a post-election outlook, and we'll have representatives from Washington and from Tallahassee to talk to us about how the election impacts any business issues or opportunities. So please, again, December 3rd at 3:30, again, a virtual platform will be available for that. And then we'll round out our year with our annual Market Watch Business Summit. This is a joint program with Team Volusia, and we are bringing in Dr. Jerry Parrish, the chief economist for the Florida Chamber, who's going to give us a kind of look at what's going on in the state of Florida, some of the trends that they're seeing. They're going to use some of their great demographic tools to bring it down to Volusia County so that you all can make informed decisions as you plan for your business for the future. So we'll hope you'll join us for that December 15th at 8 a.m. With that, I want to thank all of you. I thought today's program was exceptional. We did record it, and I want to, again, congratulate everybody who's involved, thank our sponsors, and wish you all an incredible Thanksgiving holiday if we don't talk to you before that. Have a great day.